What's going on, YouTube family? Welcome back to the channel. I just want to do a quick recap of the big game last night. Okay, South Carolina. First things first. We won the game, right? That's always good. You always want to win the game. Okay, we got a big win. It's a huge one, SEC win, conference win. You got to be happy with that. Okay. Wasn't as dominant of a performance as I thought it was going to be. Well, I came in here and I said, hey, 38-3 is my prediction. I don't see how they move the ball. They moved the ball on us, right? And we'll talk about that here in just a second. Just want to talk about my key takeaways from the game. And I guess we'll start on the defensive side of the ball because that's where we started in the game. So let's start there with this video. So defensively, how do I feel? Well, start the D-line. I think D-line was solid. I think we got more pressure than we probably thought we would. We saw DeAndre Johnson, 2.5 sacks. Was disruptive. Kevon Bennett, who I've been on here raving about, forever. He was solid. Who else? Aubrey Solomon was very limited. I'm assuming he missed a lot of time. He was limited, but he's our best interior guy right now. Amari Thomas is a guy that I want to see more of. He looked pretty good. I only saw one snap of him, but that snap, he just dominates this guy. He looked really good. So maybe he was another guy that missed a lot of time. And maybe as he gets more and more reps in practice, he'll be able to play more and more in the games because he's actually looked really good in the one snap I saw of him. I think overall D-line looked good. I don't think we got pushed around too much. There were some plays when we see guys getting moved and things like that, but overall, we held our ground and we even got a little penetration here and there. So D-line looked pretty good. Obviously, getting Drum Milton back next week is going to be huge. We definitely missed him. Having him and probably having Solomon, be key guys in that front is going to be huge for us. Would have been really nice to have Emmett Gooden as that third piece. You have Solomon, you have Middleton, you have Emmett Gooden. That would be a really good D-line in my opinion. But hey, we are where we are, so we can keep on moving from here. Elijah Simmons, like I said, the guy does not get moved. You just can't run where he's at. Wherever he's at, you have to run around him. So that's very convenient to have a guy like that. So I like him. Want to keep using him more and more and more. I love that guy. And I think overall D-line played well. I think you moved to outside backers. Like I said, DeAndre Johnson, Kevon Bennett were our key guys there. Outside of them, I don't know what we really. Roman Harrison, he played sparingly, very sparingly. The freshman Tyler Barron looked pretty good. I'll talk about Barron here in just a second. But there's not much pass rush outside of the top two, DeAndre Johnson and Keon. So we need to find more guys that can rush the passer. We saw Morgan Joseph for one play, and they got us in they really had a perfect call for what we're in. We're in man coverage. And you guys know the outside linebackers are typically, they're lined up, they're outside the ends. They're on the end of the line of scrimmage, typically. He was manned up on the running back. The running back downside hut, he goes and immediately shoots the other way, across the field the other way. And so Morgan Joseph was beat from alignment, like off the start. Like there's nothing he could have done. He was beat off alignment, right? But what you like about that play is he's able to chase the guy down and make the tackle 15 yards on the field. And so you love the speed. You love the speed. He got to beat him to play and they got like 15 yards or so. You love the speed there. And so they hasn't a bad call. But I would like to have seen him maybe get a couple opportunities to rush the passer on third down. But I only saw that one snap of him. All I can say from that is you just love the speed. He's a guy, like I said, I think I'll come here and said it. He's probably one of my favorite recruits from that last class. I look at him as like a bigger and maybe even faster, which is crazy to say, Terrence Lewis. The kid's big, he's strong, he's fast, he's explosive, and I think it's a really good play for us. We'll see if he gets more time as the season goes on. But that's how I feel about him. I guess moving back to Tyler Barron, another true freshman, outside linebacker. He was solid. He is physically ready, right? The guy looks the part. I don't know how much he weighs, how big he is, but he looks the part. If you're just looking at the team, you wouldn't assume he was a freshman. He looks like he belongs out there. He was solid. He doesn't get moved, right? Like he holds his ground. Here's what I'm gonna say about him. I like him a lot, and hopefully as he gets more experience, even through this season, we start to see this kind of fade away. But I don't want to say like he's too technical, but maybe he's too technical. You know what I mean? So like if you watch him, he does his same exact strike and punch. he punches and extends and reads. He does that textbook form, but it's almost too textbook form. Like he does it even when he doesn't have to. So there was one play, I don't know, was this? I think it was like a swing pass or like maybe a quick swing or something. Or no, it was a pitch. I think or in a shotgun, like some type of a toss sweep. And he was there, but for some reason, he just stops and breaks down. There was another opportunity. I forget exactly the play, but, I think he was rushing the passer and ends up being a running back, goes to block him. Instead of just bulling the guy over, he does his textbook punch and extend. And, I can already tell that's going to be something that's going to get on our nerves. And you guys will probably, if you haven't seen it already, you're going to start to notice it if he doesn't fix it. Is he does it when he doesn't have to. It's almost like a glitch in the video game or something. Like he could just run around the guy. You don't have to do it. Like just run around him or bull him. Like you don't have to always textbook punch and read. And it's kind of tough to explain if you're not watching it. But that's one thing I'll say about him is he's almost a little too textbook. And once he kind of breaks that and can just play a little bit more naturally, I think he'll be a really, really good player. He had a good day. His first snap of the game, he gets tackled for loss. I think he had a couple tackles for loss. He had a really good day. I think he's a really good player, but I'm just saying there's a couple plays that he missed that were big plays. He could have got big-time hits in the backfield and maybe even a couple of sacks here and there, but he's too busy being textbook form for everything. So that's one thing I'll say about him. But, yeah, I think overall pleased with the front there. Moving on to the backers. Obviously, Henry T is who he is. We know who he is. He's a guy that can fly around, can make plays. He's quarterback of the defense, can get lined up. Now we know he can pick it off, take it to the house also. So that's awesome. But, we don't really talk about him because we know who he is. But outside of him, who do we have? Crouch started the game. I love Crouch as a person. I never met him, just everything, from his Instagram, just kind of, his interviews and everything. The way he carries himself on the field and everything. I love the guy. He's a family-first guy. He's a God-fearing man. I mean, I like the guy a lot. Yeah, I'm not going to sit and say that he's not a good player. I think he's a really good player. I do. But he leaves a lot to be desired in terms of his ability to make plays. He does not give you really anything in pass coverage. He plays hard. He does play hard. You'll see him go take on a blocker. He hits guys right in the face, which you like to see it, but a lot of times it takes him out of the play. He just goes and hits a guy in the face and he's blocked. He just doesn't give you a whole lot, honestly. He really doesn't. He doesn't give you a whole lot. He's not an impact guy. I think he might be better off really going back to outside back. I mean, I think we're in a position now where we don't have anyone else outside of Jeremy Banks that could help out there inside. So I guess he kind of has to play there. Pruitt seems to believe in Aaron Beasley. He didn't play him, so I don't know what that's about. If he was, contact tracing was out, missed a lot of time or what, but he didn't play Aaron Beasley. He says he believes in him. I don't know. But, outside of Jeremy Banks, I don't know who else we really have in the inside. And so Crouch just kind of has to stay there, but I think he would be better off going back to outside backer. Just in my opinion. I don't know. I want the kid to do well and be successful. Because, like I said, he could have went anywhere in the country, came to Tennessee. So I want him to have a great experience here and get everything he wanted. I want him to, be able to be a big time playmaker, big time contributor, NFL caliber guy. But I'll be honest with you guys. Jeremy Banks is clearly the next best backer behind Henry T on this team. I love Jeremy Banks now. I tell you, he's fast, he's big, he's physical. He's gonna get you those 15 yards. That's the one thing about him. He'll get you those 15 yards, and didn't really hurt us last night. But when we're playing good teams and we're in big games, those things can cost you. And hey, I'll be the first to tell you, I love guys that get 15 yards. I love guys that play hard. I'm not gonna get mad at a guy for a 15-yarder here and there. But if you're doing it consistently, he had 2 in the game. If you're doing it consistently, and if it's in situations that actually cost us, yeah, you know what I mean? And so I love his energy, love his passion. I think he's phenomenal. I'm telling you, he should be starting. He'll probably be starting next week. He's good. He is legit. He's an NFL caliber player. Wherever you want to put him. You want to put him backer? You want to put him back on running back? I think both sides of the ball. He is an NFL caliber. He is the truth. And I think that, he ends up being the guy next to Henry T. And he deserves it. He's playing way better than Crouches right now. Crouches doesn't have the athletic ability that Banks has. Banks is really good. But you know what? I think we have 3 good backers. I think all 3 of those guys are serviceable guys. And so I like what we're doing there inside. And I don't know how much of the freshmen we'll see this season. We'll see. But I like those three main guys. Moving on to secondary. It was a very interesting lineup, right? You saw Bryce Thompson was at safety. We had Alante and Kim George at corner. And then obviously Nico Slaughter playing the slot, and you also had Trayvon Flowers at safety as well. So it was an interesting lineup. And after the game, crew came out and talked about it. It was like, Tank McCullough was out because he missed a lot of time, so he didn't play much. Theo Jackson, I guess, also missed a lot of time and didn't play much. And so that kind of was a little weird. But I guess it gives you your best 4 or your best 5 DBs, putting Bryce at safety, and then letting Nico play the slot. And you still got the 2 guys at corner who can play for you. I think Warren Burrell also missed some time, which is why we didn't see him at all. But I think overall defense, the secondary played well, right? Alante Taylor played awesome, right? He looks like he's in peak form right now. He had a lot of good plays coming downhill, blowing plays up in the backfield. Physical. He's always been a physical guy. That's something that I've noticed about Alante. And I've been kind of jokingly said this about him, is that like he'll come down, he'll hit you on top of your head. Like he hits you so high. I don't mind guys that come up and try to take a shot on somebody nice and high, but he'll literally hit you so high he's hitting you on top of your head. Like he'll jump and hit you. He hits you straight up super high. But you know what? I think he's been in the weight room enough now, though he's stronger, and now we're starting to see that actually translate to the field in terms of, he's taking these shots and it's actually effective now, as opposed to him getting kind of pushed back when he makes these hits. So he looked good in coverage, was tight. I mean, I feel good about him. Kim George got beat a couple times. He had a rough day, but I think he was in good position most of the time. Made a couple tackles. I'm not worried about him. But I definitely think having Alante and Bryce at corner gives us our best lineup there in the secondary as far as cornerbacks go. Bryce played well at safety. He had I think he was a leading tackle. He had 8-9 tackles. Plays well. He's an NFL caliber guy, and you can see it all off the field. He looked good. Excuse me. Trayvon Flowers didn't make any mistakes or anything like that, really. Didn't get beat or anything. He was kind of there, you know what I mean? Which I guess isn't necessarily bad. I guess it means he was in good position and really try him very much. I didn't see him have to make really any plays defensively. He made a couple tackles, but as far as breaking up passes, I don't think they really tried him. So I guess it means he was in good position, so he had a solid day. And then the other guy, Nico Slaughter, is the one we're going to talk about here because he did get beat several times. Now, he's a true freshman, obviously, 3-star guy. We're very high on him. He's going to be a really good player. Schamberger would have been there, but Schamberger was out with due to the COVID-related stuff. So Slaughter had to start. And he had a tough matchup. He was matched up against probably their best player, one of the best receivers in the SEC, Shi Smith. And, he kind of had a day with him. He did. But you know what? Nico stayed in there. He got beat a couple times inside, but he, had a big sack, made some plays, had some tackles, played hard. And as I was watching the game, because I feel like Schamberger is one of the best nickels in the league, and I'm watching the game, I'm like, man, it sucks around Schamberger, but I enjoy building this depth because we're building depth by putting a true freshman out there against one of the best receivers in the league. He's getting valuable experience. And it bodes well for the future. Just like I talk about the offensive line, how a guy went down, but it was no drop off. Like the next guy just came in, and we just kept on rolling. You didn't even worry about oh man, Jameer Johnson's going out. We didn't worry about that because the next guy was coming in. Wyatt Morris was coming off the bench. Like it didn't matter. And I think that we're getting that way with other positions as well. Nico Slaughter is going to fill that role as well. Like Schamberger can't play. Okay, it's okay. We got Slaughter. We got Tice Fields. We got other guys, and that's a beautiful thing. So he did get beat, and secondary in general, there were some miscues. Which after hearing that, we missed Tank McCullough and Theo Jackson and Warren Burrell missed a lot of time. Like guys missed a lot of time, and so that's to be expected. There's some miscues. There's a couple times when I guess you could say we busted the coverage, right? The corner was expecting safety help. Safety help wasn't there, or just whatever. There were some miscues, but things that I feel like we'll clean up over time. I don't feel like we're just getting beat. I feel like it was just we haven't practiced enough. We haven't practiced enough together as a team, and I think that will clean up as we get going here. So I feel good about defense, even though they moved the ball on us. Like I said, I think it was just mainly just lack of practice and just lack of kind of understanding what to do. And I think that will clean up as we get going here. Then moving to the offense, try to be quick here at the offense. JG needs to improve. I think he played a solid game. I don't think that he obviously didn't get his beat, right? So he did not turn the ball over. Decisions were good. He put the ball where it was supposed to be in terms of, like, he made the right read. I don't know how many, like, people he missed. You know what I mean? It didn't like he really missed anybody in terms of, okay, that guy's open, but he throws it to somebody else. We didn't really see that. We did see him miss throws, though. He was a little bit inaccurate. A couple of times, especially on like third downs to Brandon Johnson. He missed Remo Keaton a couple of times. He missed Jalen Hyatt one time. So he did definitely miss some throws. I'd say probably about 4 or 5 throws easily that he missed. Could have added on to his yards and the team's yards and points on the board. And, they didn't hurt us necessarily last night, but against a better team and a closer game, that stuff could get us beat. And so you want him to improve there. Pruitt said a lot of receivers have been out, so that's okay. You kind of give him a pass there. That's a lot of timing issues and things like that. Learn the speed of your receivers and stuff like that, and so you kind of give him a pass there. But you hope to see that improve, especially as we get going into these tougher games. We need him to be rock solid. Now, is there a better option than him? I don't know. Like I said, he was very, very clean decision making wise. He's he looked very good scrambling. Something we've been big on him about is you suck at scrambling, dude. Well, he looked good. He was moving, making guys miss. I mean, I was like, man, who's this new improved JG here running the ball? He looked really good running the ball. But, like I said, missing the throws and things like that. So, he's got to get better there, because if he makes the throws that he needs to make, and, we get a lot of these freshmen involved, Jalen Hyatt, Weidman, Callaway, Holiday, get Cedric Tillman involved more, right? We get those guys involved. The offense can be really, really explosive. We can sling it around the yard and make some serious waves here, throughout the country if we can get the ball to those guys. And so we need JG to improve with his consistency moving forward. But I think he's the guy. He's probably the best option. So, I think we got to keep rocking with him for now. What else we got? Receivers. We'll go to receivers. I think receivers played well, better than I expected. Jordan Palmer looks good. Josh Palmer looks good. He's definitely the guy. Brandon Johnson surprised me. He made some big catches. He's the guy that's going to help us out this season. Remo Keaton disappointed me a little bit. There was obviously some missed throws to him, but he just looks like he is not quite ready for big league ball yet. You know what I mean? I think he's the guy who needs like another. I think he'll be really good, but it feels like it needs another year. I don't know if he missed a lot with Corona and stuff, and wasn't able to get in the weight room and stuff. But he seems like he's still a little weaker than he should be, and I don't know if he's ready for big time SEC ball yet. So we'll kind of see. The jury is still out on him. Cedric Tillman didn't get any targets. I'm big on him. Jalen Hyatt got a target or two, but it was bad throws to him. We obviously want to see Malachi Weidman. He's the guy I'm big on. So I think we'll see more of these guys as we get going, as they get more practice under the belt and as the season goes on. But I felt really good about receivers. They obviously block very well. Velus Jones, don't forget about him. I think he's the guy we got to use more. Get the ball in his hands, put him in back foot sometimes. I mean, just do whatever you got to do. He's an explosive guy. I like him a lot. Very good addition. Look good on special teams. So I like him a whole lot. Great call by T. Martin and Jerry Pruitt bringing him from Southern Cal. Tight ends. Have not talked about them at all. I thought they played very well. Jacob Warren is probably our best blocking tight end. Surprisingly, he's about 6'7". I don't know what he weighs, but he's a slender build guy. But he fires off the ball and hits in your mouth. And love the way he blocks. Like him a lot from a blocking perspective. Princeton fan, he blocked well as well. And we just got to get those guys the ball more. Found ways to get those guys involved in the offense. And then moving on to running backs, Ty Chandler, Eric Gray, obviously, two dynamic playmakers. And they played a good game. I don't think they really missed anything. I think they kind of got what was there. They ran hard. I think especially Ty Chandler got some tough yards. Even Eric Gray, guys falling forward on his touchdown run. He bounces off a tackle or two and gets in the end zone. So I think they ran hard. And I think overall the offensive line opened up some good holes for them. I think the O-line looks really good. Love our O-line. We can roll guys off the bench. Doesn't matter who it is. One guy goes down, next guy's going to come up and there's zero drop off. Like Garantano had all day to throw. We're moving guys off the ball. I mean, I love our O line. I love the way they play. They play so nasty. I mean, they want to bully you. We didn't even see K'Ron Calvert, who's another guy that I'm very high on. Javonte Spraggins is an absolute stud. Okay, this guy played some right guard for us. Number 76, if you want to go back and watch, look for him. I mean, he is the real deal. True freshman, 3-star guy, but he plays so hard. He plays so nasty. I mean, just go watch this film. He is everything you want in an offensive lineman. He's going to be the next great. I mean, we're going to assume that Wanye and Darnell and those guys, are who they are. Okay, after them, you got to say Spraggins is like the next great ball lineman. I mean, he looks phenomenal. And yeah, man, I mean, I love the O-line. Love this team, man. I love this team. Love their attitude, the way they play. They play so nasty, so vicious. I mean, it's like as I'm watching the game, I'm like, man, I love that guy. Oh man, Jordan Banks, I love Jordan Banks. Henry T, I love Henry T. Oh man, I love Trey Smith. I love the way Jameer Johnson plays. I love the way Jordan Palmer plays. I love the way Wanye is playing. You know what I mean? I love the way Spraggins is playing. Right? I love the way Lante Taylor, Bryce Thompson, like. There's just so many guys that you really love the way they play the game, the way they carry themselves, and you just have to tip your hat to Pruitt and the way he's built this roster. He's got the right type of guys on that field, and I mean the sky is the limit for how far this team can go. It's gonna be tough to really tell anything until next week. You gotta see week 2 really to kind of get a good understanding because, like I said, I expect South Carolina to be one of the worst teams in the league. They look pretty good against us, but just watching us, we look pretty good. You know what I mean? Like we're able to hold up in pass protection, whatever, get some pass rush. I mean, guys look pretty good overall. So it's gonna be interesting to kind of see, like, is South Carolina better than we thought, or are we worse, than we think? Is this just a case of this being one of those rivalry games where it's always just gonna be close? Because those two teams, they not like each other. It's, I promise. This is a rivalry game. Okay, make no mistake about it. Tennessee hates South Carolina. South Carolina hates Tennessee. It was very chippy every play. Something was going on after the play. You know what I mean? So it's a chippy game. This is one of those weird games that's always going to be close, no matter how good. Records don't matter. This is always going to be close. Maybe it is, but I just love the way this team plays. I do. And I feel good about our chances moving forward. I do, man. So I'm excited. We got Missouri this week. I think we'll beat them big. We should beat them big. And then we got Georgia in a couple of weeks, and we'll talk about them later, but they did not look very good at all. Where I'll make a separate video about them and how bad they look and how many games they're going to lose this season. But, hey, thanks for tuning in, guys, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Go Vols.